Greetings, fellow man. Servus Männer. It's Red Pill Germany again, and today I want to talk about identity and this. This is a very quick video response to one of my commenters on my channel. It's called Bombe 20, and he doesn't comment a lot, but when he comments, I have to say it's always thought-provoking and always really bright what he has to say. So the context was the following. I was reporting about this Turkish left-wing politician who got the victim of an assault from migrants in Germany. Now at that time I said that my Turkish friends always tell me that a passport for them is just a piece of paper, that they still feel as Turkish people, and I said I understand that. So, in his very witty and provoking kind of manner, Bombe 20 then said, "Oh, so how far does my Ariernachweis have to go back then in this case?" So an Ariernachweis used to be an official document in the Third Reich that some groups needed in order to be able to work. Like if you were a professor or a scientist or some government officer or something like that, you needed to have this document to prove that your pedigree or whatever goes way back and that you're purely German, you know? So no mixed blood or something like that, right? So they were really obsessed with purity of blood back then in the Third Reich, as you might know. So you needed this document, right? So of course you don't need an Ariernachweis these days anymore, but I want to answer this question in the following way maybe. There are cultures who mix when they go to another country. And then there are other cultures who just don't mix and they stay with their own. And they even marry people who come from the old homeland, so to speak, and they don't even marry their own people who have been living here for one or two generations already. They prefer the good old stock from the homeland, kind of. And so these second types of cultures, the endogenous cultures or something, they do not mix and they keep their own language, their own traditions, everything like in the homeland. And they form these little enclaves, kind of. So the thing is, if you don't mix and if you basically act as if you're still in your home country when you're in a new country, of course you seem different. Of course you are seen as some foreign culture, basically. And I say that without any moralizing and without any undertones. It's just what it is. Like imagine, for example, that two groups of Germans would go to Peru. One group intermarries with Peruvians, and after the third generation, their children or their offspring basically will be considered Peruvians, and they will say, "Oh yeah, my grandfather used to be from Germany, you know, he was a German, but you know now we're Peruvian." And they will speak the local language, and they will go to the schools, and they will be integrated. But what if a second group of Germans, you know, would build their own little city somewhere in the forest in Peru, and they would brew their German beer and bake their German bread and speak German, have German schools, and even if they obey all the laws in Peru and they somehow manage to get the citizenship, but they still speak German, they watch German TV via satellite dish, and they really don't mix, you know, with the local Peruvians. I mean, no one would consider them Peruvians. People would say, "Oh, that little town in the forest there, that's where the Germans live," you know? I mean, that's what they would say. I've been living in foreign countries for a long time, and I never felt like, "Ooh, I'm an American now," or "Ooh, I'm a Japanese person now." No, I mean, I felt like a German. And if I would live in Japan and I would have children with a German woman and our children would go to the local German school or something, I wouldn't consider them to be Japanese, and no Japanese person would consider them to be Japanese. They would say, "Oh, look, those are the Germans, our good neighbors, the Germans," right? There is nothing wrong with that, and no one needs an Ariernachweis. So of course, if you have the passport, if you have the citizenship, you are a citizen with all responsibilities and all privileges, of course. But the culture you have, the way you feel inside, what group you identify with, that is a whole different question. And I get it that some people want, for practical reasons, they want to have the citizenship for work reasons, immigration reasons, whatsoever, right? There is no problem here. But that doesn't mean that you feel like that, like belonging to that group, or that you don't belong to your own group anymore uh, inside. Huh? So your attitude towards culture, your cultural identity, and that is not your passport. The passport, and I agree with Turkish people, is a piece of paper. And it can be for entirely practical reasons. I find this cultural identity question a very important, very interesting, fascinating question about maybe group psychology or something. It's a very interesting point, and that will be more important in the future in Europe, I think, with so many different cultures living on this densely populated continent. This is a very important issue, and I think we shouldn't be shy, but instead discuss these issues openly. So, some of you might have learned what an Ariernachweis is now, and I don't know if Northern Indians or maybe Persians were given this Ariernachweis too in the Third Reich. That would have actually be interesting to find out, but I pretty much doubt it. So, thanks for listening. Have a great day. Servus, Kameraden.